My name is Aaron Rhodes, and you're listening to the Shuttlecock podcast. We're sponsored by the Vinyl Underground at 7th Heaven, offering new and used vinyl at 76 and Troost in Kansas City, Missouri. This week on the show, we have Dame. How you doing?
Good, bro. Happy to be here. Happy to be in this motherfucker.
Awesome. Well, for anyone that doesn't know, you are kind of a Kansas City-based rapper, but you're from Grandview originally?
Grandview, Missouri, originally, yeah. It's all one and the same, but, you know what I'm saying, out there it's kind of like, it's a different vibe, so, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
What do you think makes Grandview different from the rest of the area?
It's love, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always say, like, Grandview, one of the only places where I could walk in the store, I know the nigga working behind the counter, I'm at the register, and another nigga I went to school with gonna walk in and say, "What's up?" I'm buying my shit from the nigga I went to school with, selling me this shit. Like, it's just like that out there. Shit hard.
And what school did you end up going to for high school and everything?
I graduated from Grandview High School.
Grandview High?
Yep. Graduated from Grandview High School. Been in Grandview since I was 10 years old. Been out there since. Yeah. And
I usually kind of start off with, I'm kind of curious, like, what your like kind of first interactions with music were like as a kid and growing up and everything.
I've been listening to music my whole life. It was one of those things where it was like I knew that was what I liked, but I mean, of course, coming up I was playing sports and shit, but it was always, if I wasn't playing sports, I was listening to music. And then the two kind of went hand in hand because, you know, like Drake said, basketball and music is so synonymous because we want to be them and they want to be us, and it's like all the same, you know?
Oh yeah, and you do see every once in a while a basketball player drop a mixtape, and I don't know, are there any that you've ever enjoyed?
Oh, nah. One that I thought was funny was when Kobe was rapping and shit. Kobe had me weak when he was rapping. That nigga, he was trash. No disrespect.
No, yeah, and there's always I think, like, it definitely wasn't, like, objectively good, but, like, hearing Shaq rap also is very entertaining.
Yeah, but Shaq really thought he was spitting, though, so it was different. Kobe was looking uncomfortable. Shaq really think he that nigga at everything, so when he was rapping, people was really fucking with it.
Oh, yeah, he had the right confidence for it, I guess, and, like,
definitely
transferred onto the microphone pretty well.
Hell yeah.
And he did do a song with 311, which I think is really funny.
Crazy.
But, so what kind of, like, were you listening, like, were you introduced to rap at a young age, or did you start off with something else?
Nah, I always listened to a lot of rap. Of course, like, coming up, when I really didn't have a choice as to what I was listening to, I was riding around with my pops, and he used to listen to Jay-Z, DMX, like, one of his favorite rappers was KRS-One. Like, he used to listen to a lot of that type of shit, but coming up, as I was able to, like, pick my own favorite artists, it was Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy, T.I. Like, them was some of my favorite rappers coming up. And then the older I got, it was like generational changes. Like, the older I got, I started listening to new artists and more genres.
No, but, like, the reason I asked that kind of is, like, I don't know, I think on a lot of your beats compared to, like, what some other people, like, at your age kind of choose, like, you do incorporate, like, a lot of, like, soul samples and stuff compared to a lot of people out right now. Is that just stuff that you've picked up since, like, you started rapping?
Nah, I think, like, me personally, I listen to a lot of different rap, so, like, whatever sound good to me at the time is kind of, like, what I'll get on. Like, I don't think it's, like, a deliberate, I'm looking for this with this type of sample. It's just, if it sound good, I'm gonna get on it.
And I always, like, I don't know, I think, like, your music for me, it has, like, its own sound, but, like, I can hear, like, I feel like bits and pieces of, like, a lot of, like, good music artists. Are those, like, rappers that you're interested in? Like, I can, like, you know, there aren't very many people who aren't, like, at least a little influenced by Kanye, so.
Yeah, nah, Kanye was, like, a close second or third for me when I was coming up, but, like I said, it was strictly Lil Wayne. But, like, Pusha T, like, he's been one of my favorite artists since I was, like, a junior in high school, sophomore, junior in high school. So, if any with the most influence, also 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is, like, right now, that's probably one of my favorite rappers. Like, lately, that's one of my most influential artists, just from his business endeavors on to like the music shit, because he can rap like a motherfucker.
No, yeah, I think he gets left out of a lot of like best rapper right now conversations when he really should be at least some part of the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's up there. I think he's up there for sure.
And it has like I don't want to dive into a whole annoying like Drake Pusha T thing right now, because everyone has their take on that, but like you say you have been like a big Pusha T fan for a long time. So has this recent thing affected you too hard?
Honestly, it didn't surprise me, because I mean, if you pay attention to like music and stuff, you know that this has been ongoing for a long time. Like Pusha T been dissing Drake since I was in high school. So, you know, he dropped his last album, My Name Is My Name, in 2014, and a lot has happened since then, like the whole Drake writing scandal, and like Drake responded to him and his past disses on Two Birds, One Stone. So it was kind of like I knew he was gonna respond to it. So once I heard Infrared, I was like, okay. But then, you know, Drake came back with the Duppy. Then Duppy led to the story of Adidon. But none of it surprised me. Like, I wasn't surprised.
Long time coming.
Yeah, literally.
But, no, yeah, so you have been attending UCM right now. What year are you at? Like,
I'm about to be a senior this upcoming fall, so I'll be done next May.
Nice. Yeah. And what have you kind of been focusing on there?
Really, it's kind of hard focusing, because like I be so tapped into the music that I be trying to balance both. But when I'm out there, it's like it's a good break from Kansas City, because like when I'm home, I'm constantly doing something. Whereas out there, small town, it's a lot slower, so I got time to, you know, chill and really focus on writing. I get a lot of my writing done when I'm out there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and do you ever end up playing like shows out there, or have you kind of made any type of fan base, do you think, at the college?
Yeah, I got a pretty good fan base out there. I've had 3 or 4 shows out in Warrensburg, and it's like predominantly St. Louis out there, and I got a pretty strong St. Louis fan base out there. So
nice.
Yeah.
And but what are you majoring in, and like what kind of classes are you doing?
I'm
in school?
a communications major, and like honestly, when I got in school, I was on a basketball scholarship, and they was just like, if you here, just take a major. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of stuck with it. But, you know, ultimately, when I'm done, I'm trying to go, like, head first in with my music. So I'm just trying to get my degree.
Are you still playing basketball there? Or?
No. I stopped playing basketball once I started rapping.
No, yeah, I guess, yeah, like you were saying earlier, you kind of got to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was like, it was one of those things where it was natural, you know what I'm saying? Like the transition was so natural, because I've been so like in the music for so long. So.
But were you saying you had like a scholarship?
Yeah. I was on scholarship. I went to a community college in Kansas called Labette. I went there for a year, and then once I left there, I transferred to another school, which then ended up not working out. This was fall 2015, and then like that whole time I was back at home, like back with my parents, and that was when I started rapping. And then like from September to December 2015, I was just writing music, and then I recorded everything I wrote, and then put out 20 at the top of 2016, and then I've been rapping ever since.
Oh yeah, and do you like you kind of mentioned how you'd been, you know, listening to rap since you've been a kid, but like making the jump kind of like, oh, sorry, that's the cat.
Yeah, it's hard.
But you kind of made the jump in like later than a lot of people I know who rap. Like, was that kind of weird for you, like getting started so late?
Well, it was kind of one of those things where it was like we've always been rapping. Like my bro, he's right there next to me right now. He had the studio in his basement. So my senior year in high school, they gave like every student a MacBook. So like he had the whole studio set up in his basement. So like I was fucking around with rapping and shit when we were 18 years old. But like at the time, he was the only one really taking it serious. But then once I picked it back up in 2015, it was just like really just putting all my focus into that instead of music.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned your first tape was called 20.
Yeah.
And that's still on your SoundCloud if people want to listen to that.
Yep.
But yeah, what was kind of the process behind making that for the first time, and like, I don't know, what kind of decisions and influences went into that?
Oh man, it was. So I started rapping because of a breakup that I had, and it was like I'm just gonna put all my like pain into the song because I was really sad though. It was crazy, but I was like I'm gonna put all these songs out, and I'm just gonna have fun. I'm find beats I like, and I'm gonna just rap about what I want to rap about. And it was so simple because like I didn't know what to expect. I was just like I'm gonna put these songs out, and at the time like I was still back at home. I was just Damon that played basketball. You know what I'm saying? So when I put it out, it just really was just like it just made people like, okay, this nigga serious, and then it just went from there.
Oh yeah, and so what else was I gonna say there? But yeah, I think the first time I had heard you was the Mad Love tape, which is the next one after 20.
Yeah.
And did anything really change in the time between those two, or was it pretty like consistent?
Well, when Mad Love came out, it was kind of like, now I know what I'm doing. Like now I know what beats I want to use. But on 20, I was like picking beats that I used to like coming up. Like for example, Misunderstood. I rapped on that beat on 20. But I chose to go the direction of picking all original tracks for Mad Love, and then that was when I kind of like knew I could make original songs, and it gave me more confidence to go out and find my own beats, and that's kind of where that started. Yeah.
And so I think Mad Love kind of like secured you like a spot in like the local kind of underground hip hop scene, like because I don't know, I think Kai has like really. Like, I don't know. I think he's underappreciated as like a tastemaker to an extent, and like a kind of a figure in the scene. Like, I feel like I find a lot of new music through him, and also like maybe not as recently, but like Rory also Rory's also from Grandview. Did you end up like at school with him or anything?
Yeah. Me and Rory, we had class together in high school actually, and we went to the same college for a little bit of time, like kind of before he blew up, but like we still be with him from time to time now back at home. So yeah,
nice,
that's our guy.
But yeah, I think I did like end up finding Mad Love through like Kai's SoundCloud or something like that, and that's how I found like Donnell and like a bunch of other people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Mad Love is, for at least in my opinion, like where you kind of like kind of grounded yourself in the scene. And
yeah, I feel
like,
the same way.
Did you know a lot of like other rappers like before like you released those first couple tapes?
Honestly, and that's it for real. Like at the time, I kind of like it felt like I didn't know that many rappers because I wasn't that immersed into the culture just yet. So the only person that I really knew was him. And then like the more I started doing shows and linking up with people, that was when I kind of met more artists. But like I said, Kyle was showing love when I had dropped 20, and then before I dropped 20, I was listening to a couple of his older tracks, and then that's kind of how our relationship started up.
Nice. And and you didn't know Donnell until around then either?
Yeah, I met him and Donnell around the same time.
And he produced the song Normal on your next tape, Young Goat. And Young Goat is like kind of where like people outside of the scene, even like Kansas City in general, like hip hop fans, like really, I think got their first like listen to you because Two Girlfriends got some play on like Underground Heat and was like probably like up there among like your SoundCloud tracks and everything.
Yeah, that's probably one of my most listened to tracks. It's that one. Yeah, that is my most listened to track, and then there's a couple other that's like right behind it. But yeah, Vibe. No, Vibe is my most listened to track. Two Girlfriends is second. Vibe is on 20. Last track on 20. And people say that's my best song, but I don't know.
I think the first one I actually heard, like I'd listened to Mad Love and I hadn't come back to it for a minute, but then I had heard 100 Missions. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, this is Dame. He had that tape, and like that song, that was like one of the first songs that like really grabbed me from you, and like cuz that's like I don't know, like there's a lot of real like good like pop sensibility to it, and like I was like, wow, like this could definitely be on like national radio and like fit right in among like a lot of popular stuff right now.
Man, and it's one of those songs where when I first made it, I was like, man, this is it for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what can I do that's better than this? Because I thought that shit was so crazy. But, like, when I first made it was just, I like it so much because it's just a genuine song. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a fun song for me just starting. Like, that was when I feel like I'm just going to make shit I want to talk about. I want to have fun with it. It wasn't, like, no type of calculated approach to it. I was just like, I found this beat. I found the hook. I'm just going to go with it and do everything off of it. And I had my niggas in the studio when I made it. And their reaction to it let me know that it was going to be hard. So I think that's one of my favorite songs. Like, the process of making that song was so tough to me.
No, yeah, and you like your delivery like on the hook is like you're almost shouting too. So like I can imagine like being in the studio for that. Everyone's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it was like I had it so ready before I pulled up because I rapped that motherfucker at the house like 20 times. So when I got there, I normally like recording in the dark, like the booth light off and the engineering room off. But like I was so confident with that motherfucker and all my niggas was there. I had all the lights on. I was just rapping them like it was nothing. And niggas was going crazy. That's when I was like, yeah, this is gonna be stupid.
No, and I also still enjoy the Wilt Chamberlain single artwork for that. He's got the 100 points. That was a nice touch.
And Wilt Chamberlain, niggas don't know, but Wilt Chamberlain really had the bitches. Like, for real, Wilt Chamberlain really had bitches. And, like, that was kind of, like, another thing that went with it because, like, it's kind of a, like, sort of a known fact that, like, he was up in the thousands, like, as far as, like, women he fucked with type shit. So, yeah.
Yeah, people can Google that, I guess.
Yeah, read about it.
But, yeah, that was another track that ended up on the Young Goat tape. And, I don't know, yeah, I know I'm kind of being pretty methodical about it, but, like, what do you think? Did much change for you between Mad Love and Young Goat?
Yeah, well, it was kind of like I was in a totally different headspace because at that time, like, it was like I had just moved to UCM fall of 2016. I had just got my associates. And like I said, I was put into a new culture of being around all people from St. Louis. And, like, they have a totally different listening style of music than we have here in Kansas City. So, like, going to some of the parties down there and, like, seeing what people fucking with and seeing what people not fucking with, it just kind of, like, put me in a whole nother perspective as to how I approach things. And that's kind of when I think that's when I started, like, really putting more thought into, like, my tapes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and is there anything that you can think of that, like, really differentiates, like, the St. Louis sound right now from where Kansas City's at?
St. Louis is, like, they like party tracks. St. Louis like to turn up. And I think that's where when I be trying to make, like, some bangers, I be like, man, I know my friends from St. Louis, they be fucking with my shit heavy. So, like, I be like, this is gonna go crazy. Like, because I be seeing, like, I heard Rover and, like, by Block Boy, like, a year ago because they was fucking with it down there. And then they brought to the school and just seeing how they was reacting to it in the parties, I was like, man, I got to come with some shit that's going to make people react in the party. And then that's kind of where that came from.
Okay, and I guess St. Louis probably does have, like, a better Memphis connection since it's, like, a little bit closer there.
Yeah, literally right there. Yep.
And, but yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, but also, like, a lot of your stuff, like, I think maybe it's the Kansas City appeal, actually. Like, a lot of your songs are, like, they do have, like, a little bit of, like, an R&B groove to them, and I think a lot of people from Kansas City are into that kind of thing, too. Like, songs like In the Mix, it has kind of, like, that, I don't know, kind of a soul vibe, R&B soul vibe to it.
Man, and with that track, honestly, it was, like, one of those things where I heard the beat, and I instantly just knew, like, is it some hoes there was the first thing I said, and then, like, that was all I typed into my phone, and then I just had to make it come off that, but I wanted to keep kind of that same type of rock, like, is some hoes there? Because I can't go if ain't no hoes there, because if you got that rock to it, it just feel hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm performing, it just make you want to vibe and, like, sway a little bit, so I want to kind of keep that vibe to it.
No, yeah, like, the rhythm, like, definitely kind of came first, and... Like, and you can kind of tell that it comes first in, like, a lot of the stuff that you write. Because you're not even, like, I don't think you even, like, sing really on all too many songs at all. So like, but there still is like a very like melodic and like melodic tone to like a lot of the stuff that you do.
Yeah, like all I know was kind of where I like dabbled in that for the first time, and like I seen like Meek Mill drop that "Save Me," and like I don't know, have you heard Meek Mill "Save Me"?
I don't think so.
It's like the hook, like I fell in love with these streets. I seen 100,000, like that, like kind of he was really singing on that motherfucker. And like when I heard that, I went to my engineer. When I found that beat, I was like, yo, how the engineer did "Save Me," I wanted to have that same type of feel. And then like from there, he got the vocals, and we got it perfect. And like that's kind of where it made me want to try it again on Came With, and then people was really fucking with it again. And I got like some more stuff where I've been fucking with it more, really finding that sound of where I can kind of harmonize and that type of shit. So yeah.
And your most recent project was Family and Friends, and I don't know, like, yeah, I think it does have like your most mature like kind of mix of like, well, first of all, like the album art is like an original, like it's Ken Do, right?
Yeah.
And Ken Do did the In the Mix video.
Yes, sir.
Those are both really nice, and but yeah, I think it shows like a really dynamic mix of like different like themes and like topics and stuff. Like you do get into like kind of personal, emotional stuff, but also like songs about girls and like kind of flexes and stuff like that. Is that something like, did you really put a lot of thought into like the album structure and like what were you going to cover, or like do you usually go kind of like song by song?
Well, with that tape, it was kind of like I had In the Mix. That was the first song that I wrote, and I wrote that song, I say, last summer, late July, early August, and I recorded it, but that was all I had recorded. Like, I knew I was gonna drop a tape on my birthday, but like it was a time period where I was like, I wasn't writing because like after I came off this song, I was having trouble finding beats, and so I had a show, and like that whole summer, I was performing 2 girlfriends the whole summer, and like it was kind of like the people were tired of hearing it, and it's understandable. Like they were ready for new music, and at the time, like this show was the same day as I recorded the video, so I was like, man, I can't give the people the song without the video, so I performed the same shit, but the show was so whack because they was tired of hearing the same stuff. But I'm like, people don't even know I got this song that's hard as fuck that's gonna come out here in a couple months. So once I seen the reaction to that show, I was like, I'm about to get my shit together. Went to Warrensburg, and the first song I found after In the Mix was the beat to All I Know. I made All I Know, and once I made All I Know, it just started clicking. Like I started finding like how I kind of wanted to piece everything together, and it just went from there.
No, and like I think there is at least one song on the tape where you're actually kind of like talking about the theme of the tape, like family and friends. Like what made you want to pick that name, and like what made those themes important to you?
So a lot of the times I talk about myself in certain tracks and mixtapes and stuff, but a lot of what I do is influenced by my friends. For example, like I said, before I started rapping, I was making music in Old Basement, and a lot of those type of moments wouldn't be possible without my friends. And like it just talk about like all the stuff that the people around me are going through, because my bro told me like my bro can't rap, so like I gotta tell his story for him. You know what I'm saying? Like we got people that don't rap that we gotta speak for.
So the tape kind of like pulled in a lot of like stories of people you know, and it's kind of ended up being dedicated to that kind of thing.
For sure. Like all the people I referenced, it was like and changed lives. Like my cousin Lance told me Live Strong. Like that shit really happened. Like I seen him at Applebee's, and I ain't seen him in like 2 years, and he really told me like, hey, keep doing your shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just all inspired by interaction with people that I've been with, you know. So.
Yeah, and you did mention like last summer you had been doing a lot of shows, and you ended up doing a bunch of like older material at the time. But what was one of those shows that you're talking about, like the Swope Park show? Because that might have actually been the last time I saw you.
Yeah, that was the show, right? That was the show the day. No, that was the show the day before the show I'm referencing. And like right before that show, I can't even remember what exactly. I think that was my first time performing in the mix. I performed in the mix like a snippet of it, like the first verse only, but I didn't do it at the show the day after that. And then I performed 2 Girlfriends, and I think 2 older tracks, and it was just weak. So then it just put into perspective, like I gotta come hard with this next shit. So yeah.
No, yeah, but one thing I like. I think if you go see a lot of rap shows, you often kind of see like at least like younger rappers, like they will bring like 20 of their friends on stage, even if they're like on tour or whatever, and you're like, I can't even see the guy, but like you usually have like a bunch of your friends up front with you, and like I don't know, the way like they're never like blocking you, and they're always like really engaged, I think, with the music too. Like they're not just like on their phone doing whatever. And I don't know, I don't know, I like how you have been able to like make that work for you, and like it does bring like kind of a vibe to the show, because like everyone, like, you know, someone gets up there, they do their songs or whatever, and everyone's just kind of hanging out watching. But like when someone pulls up and they have like 10, 20 people on the stage with them, and everyone's like, oh shit, this is like something serious. And I don't know, like and even like when I don't make it to your shows, like, and I'll see like videos on Instagram or whatever, like there'll be like 10 people like up front like shouting all the words with you, and you're like, wow, that looks like a nice moment there.
Oh yeah, because it's one of those things where like we all know each other's shit, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing for me. Like if my bro Dre Bless that's not here, if he got the mic, we know his shit. O got the mic, we know his shit. So we all just be showing love. It ain't like one nigga rapping and everybody just recording. We genuinely be up there because we know this shit and we think this shit hard as fuck. So we gonna rap this shit like it's hard. And that's where that came from. And like we all really been with each other for a long ass time, so it's like just natural for us to be up there. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see everybody that's up there, it be niggas that really been there. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that come from. Yeah.
And yeah, your latest single is "How I Live."
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that track?
Really, I recorded it a couple months back. I want to say in March, and I was kind of sitting on it for a while, but it was one of those things where I wanted to put it on my next project, but like the more I got to thinking about the direction I wanted to go in, I was like, I don't really see it kind of fitting into the mix of what I'm trying to do. So I was like, I'm gonna just put it out instead of sitting on it, and then that's kind of where it came from. I just dropped it on May the 7th, and I was like, just put it out just so I can keep putting out content. And yeah, that's where it came from.
But yeah, so are you kind of in the middle of like working on a new tape or something right now?
Yeah, I'm working on 2 projects right now. Is
there anything you can say about those, or like how they sound, or all that?
Well, the first one is our engineer Buddha A16 in Dark Productions. He's working with me and O on like some really dope shit on some of his production. I don't know if you've heard my track Savor.
I'm not sure.
Well, go check out Savor on SoundCloud. He produced that beat, and he was always saying like he wanted to do like a project, but he wanted to wait. So like now, me and O, we kind of both at that point where we getting our name out there. So he's working on projects with both of us. So one of them is gonna be executive produced by Buddha, and then the other one is gonna be like really like take mode, where like it's family and friends type shit.
Nice.
But it's a whole nother vibe.
Cool. What else do I got here? Oh yeah, and I guess for people who like we've mentioned O a few times, but he releases a lot of really cool freestyles on SoundCloud. Like it's kind of like an ongoing series.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk a little bit about like his style and all that? Why people should be listening to him?
Oh, cause O can really he can rap, like, you know what I'm saying. It's like it's really rap, and it's one of those things where a lot of people rap about the stuff that he raps about, but it's not authentic. And what the unique thing about him is everything that has happened, everything he says is true. You know what I'm saying, and it's shit that we can attest to, and I think that's why it connect with me so much more, and the fact that he can tie it in to shit like similes and metaphors with the shit that we've seen him live and heard stories about him living. I think that's what make it so real, is because, and also he's coming from Charleston, Missouri, Sykes, Missouri, where it's like a whole nother influence. He brings a whole nother vibe to the KC music scene just because he wasn't he didn't really grow up here, and he moved here, and he's bringing his perspective from where he's from. So.
Wait, what city is that you mentioned?
Charleston, Missouri.
What part of the?
Southeastern Missouri.
Oh, okay.
SEMO area. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like close. It's like border Memphis, like a couple hours from Memphis, a couple hours from St. Louis.
So do you think that kind of ends up pulling in like kind of a southern style to it then a little bit? Yeah.
Definitely, but
Nice.
it's like it's bars though too, cause we listened to a lot of the same artists, and so yeah, it's bars too. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So anything that we didn't get to that you think people should know about?
If you don't know, follow me on Instagram, G.O.O.D, G-O-A-T-D-A-M-E. We got more visuals on the way, more merchandise on the way. And again, happy to be in this motherfucking.
Awesome. No, yeah, and I did want to ask you, the Mad Love T-shirt, and you had the tape, a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. But like I keep hearing like you kind of name drop it and stuff, and like it is like on your merch and stuff. So is there a reason like you kind of stick with that phrase?
Oh yeah, Mad Love is like my group. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's one of those things where the people from back home, like I just that was just what I put a name with when I came out, and it just came from, like I said, the whole broken heart thing. The music came from pain. Everything that I make is inspired by losses I took and, pain and that type of shit. So that's kind of where it came from. It's more to it, but it would be long to explain.
No, cool. And you said you have a show at the Roxy in July?
Yeah, July 7th. Dreams Made True, Volume 2. It's going to be at the Roxy Bar. Doors opening at 9 o'clock. And we got more promo for that on the way. Flyer will be out in a couple of weeks, so be posted for that.
Oh, awesome. And, people can make sure to follow at Shuttlecock Mag on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Check our Facebook for shows we're hosting coming up. And there's shuttlecockmag.bigcartel.com for t-shirts, photozines, and buttons. And, is there anything else you needed to mention?
Nope. Shit. I'm happy. Like I said, it was a pleasure being in this motherfucker. And be on the lookout for all the new music we got dropping. My bro Dre Bless dropping soon. Big Buzz, Rose Money dropping some more shit. O dropping. So we just gonna keep flooding with content, and we just gonna keep coming.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate it.